Hey, what's going on, guys? We're back for the second interview of Anime Avenue. First, we did Briggs, we did a few months back, and now we're here with my boy Fronky, who also does One Piece stuff. Say what's up, Fronky.
What's going on, guys? Thank you so much for having me, Zypher. This is the type of video I like doing, so really appreciate it.
Yeah, so I'm basically gonna be going through all my friends in the community at that point, and then we're gonna slowly work our way up to all the other people that I've never met in the community. But we're gonna get everybody in the community. But with that being said, the way we're gonna structure this is the first half is gonna be more One Piece centric, like content creation side, and then the second half we're gonna get a little more personal. Obviously, if there's something that Frankie doesn't feel like answering, we'll probably skip it. But we'll try to get it out of him. But with that said, what got you into this is like a multiple part question, but like the first part of the question is what got you into One Piece?
Sure. So basically, I first got into anime by watching Naruto in like fourthish grade, and a few years after that, my cousin got me to watch Attack on Titan, and my one of my best friends had been for years trying to get me to watch One Piece, but I wasn't that interested by the idea of pirates. But since I had seen multiple animes at that point and I didn't really have a problem with either of them, I thought, yeah, you know what? I'll give it a shot. I mean, what's watching like 5 episodes, see if I like it. And of course, as you'd expect, I fell in love immediately and I caught up super fast, and here we are.
I mean, that's how it is for like most people who like get into One Piece. Is like maybe at the start it's a little slow, but then as you get further and further and further, it just keeps getting better and better. And you're like, and I like to say this a lot, and I don't know if you agree with this. Let me know if you do. The way I would explain like first and second half of One Piece is like first half is more like character narrative based, where you build like a relationship with the Straw Hats, and second is more like they have character narratives, but the second half focuses more on the story narrative for the plot progression of the One Piece world.
Oh, yeah, that's absolutely true.
Yeah,
100%.
yeah, okay. That's what I wanted most to focus on. Because even like when you do like the first half of One Piece, I think after Thriller Bark, majority of it is all story based plot progression. But
Yeah.
going into like this next part of the question is what drives you to make videos and create more content regarding One Piece? What was it that about One Piece specifically? Because you cover mostly One Piece on your channel.
Well, so when I had caught up to it, it immediately became my favorite series ever of anything I'd seen. And so then I started looking at YouTube and stuff, watching people like Tech Gang and Roger and Joy Boy. And I really liked what they were doing. I thought it was cool. And then one day I thought, I mean, I really like these guys. I think they're very good. But this doesn't seem particularly difficult to do. I bet I could make videos at least similar to what
Yeah.
they're doing. And so I just started doing it, and it worked out decently well for me.
All right. You know what? I just came up with a question thinking of your YouTube channel. What was
Sure.
I have to ask this question,
Yeah, yeah.
and I
I
think
have a
you
feeling I
might
know
know,
what it is. I'm
and
really
I
excited
think you
about
know
this.
exactly what I'm gonna ask this. Like, I genuinely want to know what was the idea behind Kaido is a
Here we go.
poneglyph.
Okay. Now, I really am shocked, to be honest, that people are so against the idea of it. If it wasn't for the fact that we can see right now he is a dragon,
No,
then I would still be spearheading it.
I think the reason is like without context, without watching the video, the title itself. When you just say those words to people, they're like, "What?" So it's just like it catches them off guard, and then like I don't know if you know this, but like amongst the One Piece community, it is a massive meme. Like,
Massive me. Oh yeah, I know. I'm in the center of it.
because like I'll literally be just like we'll be talking about anything, and they're like, "Yeah, well, Kaido's a poneglyph." I'm like, bro, like it just always comes out of nowhere. So like you created one of the biggest memes in the One Piece community. So at least you got that down.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was pretty legit. I don't particularly consider it a meme, but yeah, it was fun either way. So
I mean, I think at one point every One Piece theorist has something like that of that sort. But in terms of content creation, you spoke about how like it was something the most passionate about, and I can relate to that because when I caught up to One Piece, I'm like, dude, I need to talk about this. I need like
right.
it doesn't even matter what it is, and I think it was something similar along those lines. I found Roger, I found Joy Boy, and I was like, I want to do something similar to this. Moving on to the second question is, I don't know if you can really like get into this deep, but what do you think makes you stand out from the other One Piece YouTubers? Like, is and like, even I know you cover similar content, but is there anything that different you would say that differentiates you from the other ones?
Well, it's not like too crazy or anything, and it definitely is not what I intended. But it would seem that the majority of my most recent and my in the past most popular content is when I either do power scaling types of videos or some kind of like top 10, top 15, whatever videos. Those aren't unheard of course. They're pretty
Yeah.
basic videos, really. I don't consider them very creative, but I just tend to do a lot of those because not that many people are doing them that consistently, and my viewers seem to like it a lot.
Yeah, sometimes you gotta do content like that just kind of ends up working out with you as long as you're
Right.
passionate about it, because like you're passionate about One Piece, so it's more of the like it doesn't matter what One Piece you cover as long as you're having fun doing it. As at least that's what I think. I think most people should enjoy what they're doing, and then I would say this is like a question that it's like varies on the person. I know, like, shout out to Roger. Read the One Piece wiki. Advice on how you would get into One Piece due to the large quantity of episodes, because it's like a huge discussion of like how it should be done. Like, people always find it daunting, right, with the number of episodes.
Yeah, I mean, so this is probably going to sound pretty surprising, but I have come to believe that even One Piece is not for everybody. So what I have the because I've tried to get a lot of people into One Piece,
Yeah.
of course, and basically how I'm seeing it now is that the only really good way to do it is to either read or watch from the beginning and watch it chronologically all the way through. And if you get through Arlong Park and you still feel like you're just chugging along, you're not really that interested, I don't think that you're going to have an easy time getting through any part of the series.
Yeah.
So you probably just aren't going to be that interested. It's probably not your cup of tea. Some people don't like that kind of genre, surprisingly.
Yeah. I think a lot of people would say like if you didn't feel anything in Arlong Park,
Right.
most likely One Piece isn't for you, because like Arlong Park early on catches on like what makes One Piece special.
Absolutely.
And if you enjoyed that, you'd probably most likely enjoy the rest of One Piece. All right, so I don't know how much like shonen and all that stuff you watch, cause I don't know how you keep up with the seasonal stuff and all that, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
pretty much. Not 100% of them, but most of them, yeah.
yeah. So where would you say is, or what would you say is the new big three shonen? Like I know it's like a very hard question to ask, because like that's like never gonna be the same thing again, because that was like specifically because of the era of like when anime started getting big in the West. But if you had to pick three, what would you say?
Okay. Um, so I have some probably strange answers. The first one's not so much. First, I would say My Hero for
Yeah.
sure. It has had a huge following from the very beginning. I was caught up with reading it for a while until I probably haven't read the last like 15 or 20 chapters. I just kind of lost interest, but it still has a huge community. A
Yeah.
lot of people say it's like the greatest series of all time, which I think is insane. But
I think most of the people saying it's the greatest series are the a lot of people like it's a big gateway anime. Like if I had to literally suggest like someone who has no interest in anime and they have no reason to, I feel like My Hero Academia would be a great segue, because superheroes are already loved in the West. So this is like in my opinion considered like the best gateway anime to get into.
yeah, I can see that for sure. That's pretty fair. Um, so then the second one, it's kind of weird to call this a seasonal anime, but I kind of want to say Attack on Titan
Attack on Titan.
because it has a huge following. It's the second highest selling manga in Japan right now. It has been for years actually, which isn't exactly what we're talking about. And
Yeah.
it had the huge hiatus after the first season, but they've been season to season, and they're supposed to
Ever
have
since,
one
yeah.
next season as well.
Well, it's currently
So
airing, I believe.
right, yeah, and
Yeah.
then once that's over, it's supposed to be about a year until the next one comes out. And the people who, and I'm a part of this, the people who watch and read that have a huge base, and also some of these people claim it to be the greatest series of all time.
Yeah.
So, and I kind of get behind that.
I think the issue with Attack, I mean, I feel like it would have been even bigger, right? And the issue was that they took way too long between season one and two. They're good now because now they're releasing 12 episodes every year. But if they didn't have that like 4 year gap, I feel like the community would have been a lot bigger. I feel like a lot of people fell off and lost interest and moved on. But
Yeah,
if they were able to like reduce that gap, I feel like the community would have been a lot bigger than it is now.
I agree. It would have been really helpful, but it is what it is, I guess.
So your answers were My
Um,
Hero Academia, Attack on Titan, and
yeah, and I guess if I had to pick one, I really don't know how good of an answer this is, especially because I haven't seen or read this series. But my understanding is that Black Clover actually has a
Black
pretty
Clover.
strong following among the people that do, and it's very mixed. Either you think it's awesome or you think it's complete garbage, which is true for even Attack on Titan. So I think it's similar. I have not seen or read either, but I've known a lot of good people that I know do enjoy it, and they say it's one of the highest tier, and it's consistently coming out still.
Yeah,
So
I think the issue with Black Clover is like a very One Piece esque issue. It's like if you get into the anime, the production is like weak, the pacing is spread
oh
out,
really?
there's filler, but then when you read the manga, it's like the pacing is like really quick. It's one of the fastest
Okay,
paced manga, and so that's why it's able to keep the reader's interest because things are moving along swiftly. But
interesting.
moving on to the next question, I don't know. I feel like you've been asked this because you're like a relatively decent size now on YouTube, obviously still growing. But advice on someone starting their YouTube channel in the anime community, what you should do and shouldn't do. Like, what are the biggest points you'd say like they should avoid and do?
Absolutely. And this really doesn't even just apply to like an anime or One Piece channel.
Yeah,
What I experienced was that the overwhelming importance of the algorithm is most certainly there, which sounds kind of scary at first and not something that's very friendly.
yeah,
However, I actually think it's awesome because it's not complicated. Basically, what the algorithm wants is for you to have decently sized videos, or 10 or more minutes, which is it's lame, but it's true.
yeah,
And it wants you to be uploading consistently as well as frequently. So like if you're going to do 2 videos a week, you need to do 2 videos every week. Or
yeah,
if you're going to do 3 videos a week, you need to do 3 videos every week. And if you skip a beat on that, you're going to be severely punished, which again sounds bad. However, if you do actually do that, it will reward you so greatly. And that is most certainly the reason that my channel has taken a little bit of a decline because I've been
yeah.
a lazy ass for
Yeah,
the
I
past half year.
actually would agree with it because like my upload schedule is like about 4 or 5 videos a day, a week, and I tried to upload it almost exact same time because mine's more like reaction based.
Right.
So I tried to put it out as soon as the episode comes out. So it's like almost picked up like a how would you say like this like it's almost picked up an algorithm of my that when I upload and what days I upload. So it's like starting to pull up more and more and more traction. I think I'm at the highest like count I have ever been on my channel. So I do 100% agree algorithm. And what would you say is like the one like biggest avoid like you want to do on YouTube? A common mistake that people tend to make.
Um, I don't know. It's like even if you do something bad, it really you have to. So it's good to sometimes pick fights with people because bad publicity is good publicity. But as I've seen a few YouTubers do who do tend to be pretty antagonistic, such Leafy is here when he was
Yeah.
in his prime. His whole thing was just picking fights with huge YouTubers, and it worked out really well for him.
Yeah.
But he got a little bit greedy and went after people that were way bigger than him way too often and had pretty just brain dead fan bases. And it overwhelmed them
Yeah.
basically. So
I,
while you have to be pretty aggressive on YouTube, you can't go crazy, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was a combination of again the algorithm because I think they were like Leafy's years the one of the big reasons why the algorithm started changing because it was started becoming more toxic and bully like pro bully. So like they
Yeah,
wanted to change that advertising change this the structure just completely changed on YouTube and all like commentary community just died out completely because of that.
true, yeah.
Okay, so now that is mostly done with like the YouTube and the One Piece stuff. So we're gonna start getting into a little bit more of like the life and other stuff.
Oh yeah.
So outside of YouTube, outside of One Piece, outside of anime, manga, what do you do for fun? Unless this is what you do for fun.
Yeah, no, this isn't what I do for fun.
Yeah.
Um it's funny because this actually has changed pretty dramatic recently, but up until maybe the last monthish, I mainly would play video games or something with friends all the time, and I play a lot of poker as well. But mainly I'd play video games or something with friends. And more recently, though, I've stopped playing video games so much for whatever reason. I don't know what happened. Maybe I just like grew up overnight. But I've been mainly golfing. A lot
Golfing.
and a lot of
Okay.
golf. I don't know what happened. I've been golfing my whole life, but I wasn't ever really that interested in it until this year I started playing, and for some reason it's like the most fun thing for me to do. I golf almost every day now.
Frankie, you know
It's
what that
pretty
means,
funny.
right?
I'm an old man.
Yeah, you're turning into an
Yeah,
old man.
yeah, that's all right.
No, but I can kind of relate to the video game thing. Is I feel like as a kid you just have so much fun doing like whatever you're
Hmm.
doing, right? And like when you and maybe you could relate to this slightly. When I played Call of Duty as like a 14, 15-year-old kid and like talking shit on Call of Duty Search and Destroy was some of the most fun I've ever had
Oh
online.
my god.
Dude, it was some of the most fun moments I have. Like just like 12 people talking shit to each other. Like, you're
Yeah,
defusing the bomb, you're high like it was like peak.
teabagging, of
Yeah,
course.
teabagging, Grand Theft Auto, like all that stuff, all that good stuff. But like, I don't know if the video games have just changed, but nothing ever. Like, I still enjoy video games. I haven't fell off, but like, I feel like they aren't the same as you were as a kid. I feel like as a kid you brought
Definitely.
more enjoyment to it.
Yeah, I can 100% agree with that. I don't play zero video games anymore,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
but it's drastically been reduced.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, anime and manga started hitting for me too, so it's like,
Sure, yeah.
yeah. So, moving on to like the next question is, do you consider yourself more introverted or extroverted, and why?
So anyone who knows me very well would probably say, or not very well, just they know me, would probably say I'm introverted. But the truth is, honestly, among my friends, I would have to say I'm probably the most extroverted person I know. I cannot stand being by myself for too long. I just get really bored, and I mean, if I'm home alone for like a full night or something and no one's going to be home and I'm not going to be talking with any friends, I will literally have to call my friends or something just to have a 5 minute conversation with them because I'll be so lonely if I'm not. And the reason that people think I'm introverted is because I'm socially inept. I am basically an idiot when it comes to any social situation. So I would not talk so much in school and whatnot. But when I'm with my friends, I am definitely the one speaking the most.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like especially if you're doing YouTube, most of those people, even like being introvert, I feel like a good example. I'm like really close friends with Joy Boy, but he's at an extreme, and this is not me like taking shots or anything. This is genuinely who I as of talked to him, and he told me himself. He's like he's a very introverted person, but he
Mm-hmm.
loves talking, but he won't ever go out of his way in like real life situations to be the one to talk. But if you engage with him, he'd most likely have a big conversation with you. But he won't go out of his way to engage with it, if that makes sense.
Interesting.
Yeah, that's what I've
Okay.
noticed about like introverted people, well, at least on YouTube. They love talking. They're just not the best at taking the first step.
I see.
Moving on to the next question is, what is the craziest thing you've ever done, and would you do it again?
The craziest thing I've ever done. The craziest thing I've ever done. Okay. I guess the craziest thing I've ever done was and I'm gonna mad lib a few things of this just for legal purposes. But so when it was his 16th birthday, so I would be 15 years old. My roommate, actually, in the other room right now, he was turning 16, and he calls me and says, "Hey, we're celebrating my birthday right now. Let's go." And he picks me up like 5 minutes later, and it's him and three other guys that I know. Not really too well, but we all go
Yeah.
to school together and
Yeah.
whatnot. And so, we're 15 and 16 years old at the time. And I guess the idea that everyone had was we were going to get super drunk and with vodka, of course, because it's got to be efficient in
Would you could even
situations
get
like
the
these.
alcohol?
That's where the
Oh,
story
okay, okay.
begins. That's where the story begins. So I didn't understand what was going on exactly. I was a pretty naive person at this time, and no
you were
one let
just
me in on any of these
you're just
plans.
tagging along.
Right. But so we stop at this convenience store, and then I'm just sitting in the car, and two of them are like, "All right, we'll be right back. Hang on." I guess that's what they said. For whatever reason, I heard something like, "All right, you guys go do this real quick. Something else we had to do, and meet us back here." I thought that's what they said, and so when they left the car, I'm like, "All right, let's go." And they're like, "What do you mean? We have to wait for them?" I'm like, "No, they said they wanted us to go do this first. Blah blah blah." And so we go, and then we get a call. "Where the f are you guys? What's going on?" And whatever. So I screwed up. We go and pick them up. So they stole some vodka from the convenience store and were on the run, kind of. Not exactly, but we had to pick them up. And so we got that. And then we went onto, coincidentally, a golf course. And we...
You in golf, man.
Yeah, I know. This was hours later at nighttime after we had already consumed all of the goodies,
Okay.
all of the contraband. And then we took the vehicles, if you know what I mean, on the golf course and just started driving them around. And things that would happen when you are 15, 16 and wasted off of vodka happened, to say the least. And yeah, that's basically what happened.
Not your proudest moment, but
Not my proudest. Definitely probably the craziest, though.
all right.
And I would not do it again, since you did ask that. I would not do that again.
Sure.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
It wasn't that good.
All right. So, going on to the next question. What is your biggest regret in life?
Biggest regret? I don't think I really have one.
You don't necessarily have to, like, I feel like we've all had our moments where we wish you could take it back, but obviously I would like to think that I never would want to take anything back I've done in life, because I don't know where I'll end up being if I didn't make that mistake or whatever it is, because I think we all learn from them.
Yeah, so, like, it depends on what you mean by that. Like, I feel like in my life, every time I've had to make a big decision, I have made, at the time, the right decision. Now, that might not have ended up working out the way I wanted it to, but with the knowledge I had at hand, I don't really ever think I did make the wrong decision. Like, it just didn't work out the way I wanted it to. If there's anything I wish I could change, I guess, if I would have done differently, I guess really the only thing would be... Actually, I guess this is a decent regret. All right, I will admit that I do have a regret in life, which is I wish I wouldn't have slacked so much the last year and a half-ish on YouTube. That is actually something I can say.
Okay. So you feel like that if you structured yourself better, you could have pushed your channel a little further?
Yeah, I mean, I had it structured so well, and then I kind of didn't believe what I was saying about the algorithm. I thought that it would just kind of work itself out since I was already doing quite well. And I started slacking, and it just became this slippery slope into current state of affairs.
Yeah, so, if you don't mind me asking, like, are you planning to change that soon, or, like...
Yeah, about once a week. I mentioned that I'm going to be changing that soon for the past, 6 weeks. So hopefully that will actually stick in the next coming weeks.
So at least once a week. What days do you upload, so people, if they ever find this video, can go over to your channel?
Right. I think I'm going to be doing Wednesday, Friday, Sunday. That's what I used to do.
Okay, so you're doing at least once a week, but you're trying to do Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Moving on to the next question is, what is your greatest fear in life?
Oh, yeah. Oh, like in life, or like worst way to die, or what are we talking about here?
If death is your greatest fear, then I guess way to die.
Well, it's not really the death of the whole situation that happens, but my worst fear is far and away sharks. I really don't like sharks. I don't even like the ocean because of sharks.
I feel like there's something terrifying. We just imagine being just dropped in the middle of the ocean. It's like,
oh my god. I mean, it's like, I would rather just be dead than having to live through that. It'd be horrible.
I feel like that's a lot of people's like something about the ocean, man. Like it's just we fear the unknown and we don't know what the hell's down there.
Yeah. I mean, it's so big. It's farther than you can see in any direction. Even if you could look down, which you can't,
Yeah,
and everything in that ocean is designed to live in that ocean where you have to actually
where
tread
humans are
water
not.
the entire time. It's horrible.
Yeah.
It's so bad.
And then the last and final question is: if your life was a movie or book, what would be
Oh
the
yeah.
title of it?
Oh, what would be the title? Oh man, I like to always live my life as if it was a book. I like to be really dramatic all the time. So, what would the title be? Oh man. I think it's going to be such a grand story, so it's got to have a pretty grand title or
Fronky's
something, right?
Bizarre Adventure.
Oh yeah, it's something like that. Honestly, maybe the Chronicles of Fronky, something like that.
The
That could be
Chronicle.
pretty interesting. Um, oh man, I don't know. Maybe something like The Art of Frank. No, that's ridiculous. Um, uh, maybe just like let's do it. Let's do this for now. I'm not making this my answer forever, but as of
Yeah.
right now, The Tale of Frankie.
The
That's what I
Tales
want
of
it to
Fronky.
be.
All right, with the
Yeah.
Tale of Fronky coming out 2020, Square Enix is gonna be working on it. No, but do you have anything to leave off for the everyone else watching? If you have anything, last message, say anything you want to share.
Um, Nothing in particular. Just hopefully gonna be getting back on the YouTube grind. So look out for that.
I'm actually I want everybody to thrive in the community. I hope you do, cause I love seeing all my friends grow. It's gonna be a great time to see if like all of us soon will be near the top with everybody else that we've looked up to when we started our YouTube channels. But with that being said, thank you so much, Frankie, for joining us. This was a lot of fun. I would definitely want to do this more often. I haven't been consistent. Speaking of consistency on YouTube, I think Briggs was months ago, but I want to try getting into at least at the minimum like once a month to get someone on here. But with that being said, thank you guys so much for watching. We'll catch you guys later. Peace out.
Later, guys.